I don't know. Was that freezing for anyone else, or was that just me? For some reason, that
I did me as well. Yeah, close me as well.
Apologies on the outside, but yeah, welcome to a very special edition of the Balls Brew Chat Show. We're doing something a little bit different tonight. We are going to do, as we have United fan Jay and we have Chelsea fan Andy/Jonesy, we are going to do a little bit of a debate, and we are going to do our all-time. Well, they are going to try and convince me of their players that they've chosen to go into a combined Chelsea and Man United all-time Prem 11. That is going to be interesting. But first of all, Jay, it's been a little while. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very blessed, man. Very, very, very blessed. Yeah, I just can't wait to smash Chelsea out the water tonight.
No, we can dream.
Good stuff. And Jonesy, again, it's been a little while. How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah, can't complain. Yeah, I'm in a good. Yeah, I think apart from Chelsea at times, but yeah, it is what it is.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, I'd rather not talk about United if possible. Hence why we're completely ignoring Chelsea and United tonight, and we're just going to have fun with this. For the interest of non-bias, I am going to do my absolute very best to stay level-headed and not just side every single time with Jay. I'm going to take everyone's arguments and considerations into account. But I will, for the record, say I am a Man United fan. But I'm looking forward to seeing both guys' teams, and then what we'll do is we'll get some sort of app or something to create the all-time 11, and we'll put it out on social media, and guys can agree or disagree or let us know your thoughts. But everyone watching live, if you're on Twitter, welcome. Really good to have you alongside. But if you want to get involved and get your comments in, jump over to YouTube or Twitch, and it will give us your comments coming up on screen. But yeah, on the offset, it's standard 4-4-2, all-time Prem 11. Yeah, I haven't got a coin, so we can't do
I'll let Grumpy go first because he's older than me.
Oh, okay. Age before beauty, okay. Right, Jonesy, your goalkeeper to go start off your...
Yeah, I don't want choice here. Petr Cech. Not about most clean sheets in Premier League history. 5 league titles. What can I say about the man? A full league title.
And Jay, who are you throwing back?
It's a hard one to compete against, to be fair, Petr Cech, and I knew he was going to do it because Chelsea they've had rubbish keepers, but I've narrowed it down to 2, and
one.
I know. I'm going to go with Edwin van der Sar.
Go on, give me your reasons why.
Oh, he filled the goals. I think he cost us £2 million or something like that. It was something stupid, like £2 million or £3 million. And he was 34 years old, I think. He was just, he was amazing at Fulham, and he won us the Champions League. He's won numerous Premier League titles. The guy was just an absolute beast. He could play with his feet. He could throw it out. He could do everything.
Okay. Van der Sar is one of my all-time favourite goalies for Man United. But I would say on this occasion, unfortunately, Jay, I am going to have to side with Jonesy, and we're going to have to stick Petr Cech in just because I think as an all-round goalkeeper, longevity, I think I have to agree with Jonesy. So we're going to stick Petr Cech in straight from the start.
Yeah, I guess that one anyway.
Good arguments for both sides, but no, I'm going to go with Jonesy on that one. So we're starting in goal with Petr Cech. Right, Jonesy, as you went first. Jay, I want your right back.
Oh,
there's only one in the race, surely.
There's only one, to be fair, isn't there? I mean, it's Gary Neville. For me, I think Gary Neville's the most underrated right back in Premier League history. The guy was such a professional. If I have boy that's in football or a girl that's in football, I'd say be like a Gary Neville, be professional, always training, always on time, always representing his club. He's never going out there city drunks and arguments and fights and stuff. I just think he's a very professional footballer, and I would love to see a Gary Neville in there.
Yeah, difficult to argue against that, Jonesy. But go on, who have you got for your all-time right back?
My all-time is Cesar Azpilicueta. Many Chelsea fans, which have had discussion with him, have said Ivanovic, but I think with Ivanovic, he had that one bad City drop-off in 15-16 where you could be the most average winger in the league and he got destroyed by that winger. He struggled, his legs went, where Azpilicueta missed a valuable play left back when we won the league in 14-15, went to right back, played right centre back. That man captain as well. Obviously, for me, he's our best right back. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I think I love Cesar Azpilicueta. He's one of my all-time favourite players in Premier League history. I have to say, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. But yeah. I am on this occasion. I think again, as an all-round player and longevity and trophies, I think it's quite simply it is probably Gary Neville straight on the button. Again, anyone watching, if you don't agree, just give me a shout. Or if these guys are talking absolute nonsense and you're thinking there's other players that they should have mentioned, please just give us a little shout and we will discuss it. But yeah, no, I'm going to go with G-Nev, Gary Neville. No quibbles from me.
Can't argue that.
Right. Jonesy, your first centre-back.
There's another one here. Captain, leader, legend, the man himself, Mr. JT, John Terry.
Tell you what, give me your other one as well, and then Jay, you can give me your two as well. So give me your other one, Jonesy.
Do you know what? I was thinking, I have changed my mind on this. I gave some thought earlier, and maybe this is biased because I love this man. And again, and as Jane mentioned with Neville, underrated individual, Gary Cahill. Again, reliable. Come on, £7 million we played for Cahill, £7 million, and again he played in numerous systems. Nah, he was unbelievable for us. I was just talking about Premier League. The man won 2 Premier Leagues one time. He had 2 Premier Leagues because he won it 14-15 with Mourinho and 16-17 where he was a captain. And he was a main leader of that. And obviously, let's go to John Terry. With him, he won it obviously back-to-back Mourinho, won it under Ancelotti. Rafa Benitez came in and said to him, you can't, you're no longer good enough. You're a bench option now. Mourinho came back. We won the league 14-15. He played every single game, every single minute. That tells you how much about that man. For me, them two.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Can't argue with one. Not so sure about the other. But Jay, go on. Give me your 2 centre backs.
I was thinking the same thing. You talk about leaders. You talk about captains. You talk about being up there and scoring them goals. There's no better captain and leader than Rio Ferdinand. I don't think. He is without doubt Premier League's most. I think he's the best Premier League defender since Premier League started, in my eyes. And his partner in crime for many years was Nemanja Vidic, and I think them two together as a partnership are scary. Strikers hated going up against him. I know Vidic wasn't great when he first come, but towards the end, when he was sort of more comfortable with the Premier League style, he was untouchable, and he was without doubt the most aggressive defender that I've seen. He wouldn't mind taking someone out. So for me, Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic have got to go in my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a really easy way to do this. I think there's a really simple, easy way. Jonesy, who are you picking out of Cahill and Terry? Just straight away.
John Terry.
Okay. Who are you picking out of Rio and Vidic?
See, if I'm going to partner up with John Terry, I'd say Vidic maybe, only because I think they're two similar players, Terry and Rio. So I'd go Vidic just to switch it up a bit more aggression in there.
You've just told me that Rio was the best defender since the start
Yeah.
of the
But
Premier League
the
era.
only reason why I'm saying that is I think John Terry and Rio Ferdinand are very similar. They're very good leaders. They're very good captains, but I don't think the two together don't mix well. So that's the other reason why I'm saying Vidic.
All right, we'll take it.
I mean,
Jay, no, this is your argument. I'm going with it. On this occasion, we're going to put JT in, and we'll have Nemanja Vidic. But I think there's a real big case to be made.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
But
100%.
We'll go with it. Again, anyone watching, if you're thinking, yeah, absolute rubbish, please let us know. Left back, I think, is probably Jonesy's one of Jonesy's easiest ones and probably one of Jay's hardest ones, but we'll see. So, Jay, who's your left back?
So it's got to be Patrice Evra, I think. I think Patrice Evra had everything: speeds, tackles. He could shoot as well. He was captain material. He's won numerous Premier League titles as well. Yeah, I think he's a strong candidate for the team. Really strong candidate.
Okay. Right. Come on, Jonesy. You tell us who you've got.
Yeah. Sorry about that. There's only one for me, Ashley Cole. For me, he's the best left back in Premier League history. But I don't think I think if James would have gone Dennis Irwin, I think that'd been for me a tougher one, because I think he was brilliant. You know, both feet, set piece taker, got goals. I just look at Ashley Cole against Evra. I think Ashley Cole is more of an all-round better player than Patrice. For me, it's Cole.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jay, but I think it's very difficult to argue with.
Yeah, no, 100%. Ashley Cole was a beast, so I won't take no.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I agree. Ashley Cole's got to go in, probably, like Jonesy said, best ever left back in Premier League history. Really difficult to argue that. So we're going Ashley Cole in at left back. Right. Let's go straight ahead then. And Jonesy, sorry. I want your right midfielder. So on the wing or on the right?
Yeah, I'm going to go right mid. We've had not many great right wingers, but for me, the one that definitely head and shoulders above anyone we've had is Iron Robben. Came as a youngster, 21-year-old from PSV, highly thought of, and he came off the bench front. Didn't that's how he made his debut, but just off the bench, and the rest of his history, he was unbelievable for us. It's a shame, obviously, Madrid can't come calling, as we all know. When Madrid come, it's impossible to hang on to him. But yeah, I think Williams was a shout, but Iron Robben was just something different, man.
Right. Yeah, Robin's a good shout. Jay, who have you got?
Really good shout. I do. If I can just be honest as well, Iron Robben is probably one of my guilty pleasures in football. He is. He was amazing.
I love him, man.
For me, David Beckham on the right mid. I don't think there's anyone in Premier League history that does what he can do. He was amazing. He was the reason why I fell in love with Manchester United when I was a young kid. Yeah, as much as I love Iron Robben, I do believe David Beckham's got it over him. That's in my opinion, obviously.
I think, as much as I'm agreeing with you, Jay, I think as much as I love Beck, again, I think Robben, maybe not at Chelsea, but as a whole player, he's probably a better footballer, in my opinion. Could be wrong. I could be wrong, and if I am, let me know. But I'm probably going to have to agree with Jonesy and say that Robben goes in at right mid.
Yeah, that's the one individual that I'm never going to argue with. Okay, for a loss.
I'm sure somebody would be out there saying, no, you're talking rubbish. But that's fine. Robben goes in at right mid. Right, in that case then, Jay, I want your left midfielder.
Bit controversial because he didn't really play on a left mid per se, but I'm chucking in Cristiano Ronaldo as a left mid. He can cut in on his right. He can also cross with his left. Say no more. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, I could talk about the trophies he's won and everything, but everyone knows about Ronaldo. You know, it's not like he's unheard of. So for me, Ronaldo on the left mid to cut in and do what he does to do.
Okay, and that means, Jonesy, you're probably going to go for a player I think you're going to go for. Go on.
Yeah, I was hoping James would say Ryan Giggs because I was going to have an argument with this one, but Eden Hazard. Again, my favourite. You know, he's not my favourite ever Chelsea, but he's in my top two. That man was unbelievable. Gave me so much joy. Some of the stuff he used to do with the ball, dribbling, take players on. Some of the goals he scored were just outrageous. He could have reached. For me, that man, if he had dedication, like Ronaldo or Salah's, he could have won a Ballon d'Or easy. He had the talent to do it, but he let himself down by not training, putting dedication in, the work ethic that these individuals put in. But I can't argue Ronaldo. Ronaldo's one of the best players ever lived. So I know. Yeah, I can't argue that.
Right, I'm going to make an executive decision as referee and judge. I'm going to put Hazard in on the left, and I am removing Iron Robin, and I am putting Cristiano Ronaldo in.
Yeah,
and I'd
yeah.
Okay.
So unfortunately, Iron Robin comes out in replacement of Cristiano Ronaldo, and in the left is Eden Hazard, because I think, like Josie said, it's difficult to argue against Eden Hazard. In those 2 seasons he had at Chelsea, in his prime, he was an unbelievable player to watch.
He was amazing, yeah. He was amazing.
Yeah, he carried us at times.
And that's the other reason why I didn't choose Ryan Giggs, to be fair, because I knew you was going to choose Eden Hazard on the left, and I thought he's got no chance against Hazard.
Out of all the players, I'm so happy he's in. I just love that man.
Yeah, no, he has to go in, and I think you can't argue against CR7. So, unfortunately, Iron Robin has come out, but that is fine. Right. Left side, well, just one of your centre mids, please, Jonesy. Got to be easy.
Yeah, Frank Lampard. What can I say about that man? All-time top goal scorer midfielder, 177 Premier League goals for midfield is just outrageous. Popped up crucial moments. Scored the 2 goals at Bolton that won us the league. Champions League. Just that man. Yeah, Lampard. No debate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Joe, who's one of yours, please?
Fellow Irishman. He was amazing. I love him. Even his commentary, I still love his commentary now. Roy Keane. I think he's the captain of the Premier League. There's no better captain than him in my eyes of the Premier League. The dedication. He doesn't mind telling you off. He doesn't mind praising you. He doesn't mind talking back to the manager, which I don't really like, but sometimes you have to. He's not afraid to go in for a tackle. I just think he's the GOAT of midfield.
Okay, right, Jonesy, I want your other centre mid, please.
Now, again, this is a tough one. For me, it's only 2 people, but I'm probably going to go probably a bit of a recency bias here. I'm going to go N'Golo Kante. I could have gone Makelele. Again, what he did that whole 4-0 season was unbelievable. But I just look at Kante. Everyone knows about that man. That's like having 2 men in one. He chipped in goals as well, which is, when he came to Chelsea, it did surprise me. Like, he's dribbling and he's got, some of the goals he scored quite surprising. He could have had, for me, he could have had even more goals to his game. He was that good.
Yeah, tough. Right, Jay, who's your other centre mid, mate?
I'm actually really surprised he hadn't said Essien.
No.
I think it's got a. It's an hard one because I've gone for one more recent in my head. This is between two players. I've gone one more recent and one old school, but I think I'm going for the old school player, and it's Paul Scholes. I don't think anyone can pin the ball like Scholes did. The visionary that he had, the volleys that he used to do was amazing. I just generally think he is the IQ of football.
Yeah. Right, pick one of the two, Jonesy. I assume you'll be going Lamps in the middle, yeah?
Yeah, Lampard.
And Jay?
Lampard for me.
Who was better about Scholes and Keane? Jesus.
This is difficult, man.
I think I'm going to go Keane because Lamps can pass the ball as well. He's a good passer of the ball. So I think I'll go Roy Keane to sort of hold that midfield more as well.
Yeah, actually, I think that's fair. I don't think there can be much argument about that. Like you say,
Yeah, I agree.
as much as Scholesy on the ball, his passing manoeuvres are still some of the best you'll see in football. I think from a goal scoring aspect, you'll find a difficulty arguing against Lampard from a goal scoring midfielder point of view.
Yeah, of course.
But you cannot have an all-time combined 11 of Man United and Chelsea and just not have probably the greatest captain in Premier League history in Roy Keane. So that's my executive decision. So we'll have Keano and Lamps in the middle. Right. Okay. One of your strikers, please, Jay.
I'll go for the one and only Rooney. I think Wayne Rooney is, without doubt, probably, again, one of the best Premier League strikers actually the world has ever seen, to be fair. If he never got that injury from a young age in the Euros, I can't remember, I think it was against Greece or someone like that, I think he would have gone even further than what he has done. But yeah, I think he was unbelievable. The ruthless aggression that he had, the balls that he could ping across as well. He could find a player easily. He had a bit of pace about him, and he had a load of strength as well. And he learned how to header towards the end of his career as well, which was really good.
Right. Jonesy, who's one of yours?
I know who this is.
Didier Drogba. So when he first came, he was so frustrating to watch because he chucked himself onto the floor, and this man was like a 6 foot unit. I'm thinking you shouldn't have been doing what you're doing. You should be able to handle. And then I think as in the second year he calmed down a little bit. The years went on, he cut that out his game, the nonsense of diving, and again I think he scored 10 goals in 10 finals. Every time he needed that man stepped up in cup finals, moments. Again, and he was probably the first striker I remember that played up front by himself. And he had literally, at times he had no one around him. He had to do it all himself. And single-handedly, it destroys centre-backs.
Oh. Yeah.
Is that good?
Right. Jay, who's your other striker, please?
Oh, I've narrowed it down to two. For me, yes, I know. It's hard because they're both Dutch as well. It's Van Persie and Van Nistelrooy, but I think Van Persie edges it for me. I just think he was a lot quicker. He could. I mean, he was a threat. I mean, Van Nistelrooy was very good as well, but for me, I think Van Persie was more exciting to watch.
Okay. Right, okay. Jonesy, go on. Who's your other centre forward?
Yeah, I reckon James can guess this. He's right to know this after we spoke about his player.
Oh, Mason Mount.
My favourite. No, my favourite. my favourite ever Chelsea player. My favourite, Gianfranco Zola. Came from Italy. Again, he had a bit like Hazard, the flair, the skill, like some of the stuff he used to do, and that's the reason I fell in love with Chelsea, because that man, just a joy to watch at times. Very under, as James mentioned about some of the players that United have had. Again, we don't get talked about much when it comes to Chelsea players, attackers. But he started it with when all these players came out from Italy. He was the best one by far.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Zola's got it. To be fair, I think Zola is amazing. He was unbelievable.
I love that man.
But to be fair, Heidegger Johnson, I think Heidegger Johnson was so underrated for Chelsea. I'm surprised you didn't give him a shot.
No, I was going to say Diego Costa.
He was a bully. Yeah, he was a bully, 100%. You never wanted to mess with him.
Yeah, with Costa, he's that kind of player where if he's on your team, you love the man. Against him, you don't like him.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm going to take Van Persie out of the equation. As much as I like him from an all-time Premier League point of view, his best years were obviously at Arsenal. Yes, won the Premier League at United, but so we're going to remove Van Persie. If you had said Van Nistelrooy, I probably would have found it difficult to argue, and I probably would have put him in. I don't think you can't have Wayne Rooney in it.
Yeah,
I think
agreed.
Rooney has to go in. As much as I like Gianfranco, it's very difficult to find a player stronger, quicker, and all-round better than Didier Drogba from an upfront point of view for Chelsea. So
yeah, I agree.
I think we've got a Wayne Rooney and a Didier Drogba up front. Right. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Right, before I read them all out, Jay, you said you had a few honourable mentions. Who have you got that you didn't name that you had in mind?
So, again, I think he had his better days at Chelsea, to be fair, but Juan Mata, I think, was unbelievable. I think he was very silky, very good. Park Ji-sung, I was struggling to fit him in because, again, you got the Scholes and you got the Keane. You got Giggs. Dennis Irwin was going to be a shout as well. And Bruno Fernandes.
Interesting. Jonesy, you said you had a couple. Who did you have?
For me, Damien Duff. Again, it's like Robin, because I think them two together was just frightening to have. If I was a new football fan of a rival team, them two was just a nightmare to play against. I've got, again, Jane mentioned earlier, Michael Essien. I could put again, your crucial moments, like some of the players have had. Barcelona goal equaliser, we're going to have to at the end. Goal against Arsenal outside of the boot.
Oh yeah,
that man was a tank.
That was a special.
He was a unit. He was a unit. As I mentioned, just about Diego Costa. I could have, Jimmy Fly Hasselbank. Again, that man knew how to hit the ball. You did not want to get in the way of his shots because he just, when he hit them, he hit them. They're the probably three players I'd give a shout out to.
Okay. So let me bring it up on screen. I've got it here. It's confirmed. This is Jay and Jonesy's all-time Premier League, Manchester United and Chelsea combined 11. So hang on, bear with me. For the absolute bants, Jonesy, who would you put in as your manager?
There's only one. As much as I'd love to say Mourinho, but you can't argue Fergie. 13 league titles. No opinions there. Me and James had a discussion about this earlier, and I think he'd tend to agree that if it was Pep involved in this, Pep's got more of an argument in this in Premier League football with Fergie. whether I think Fergie still beats him, but there's more of an argument. With Mourinho, he only won 3 league titles here, so there's not much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it
Fergie.
difficult to agree.
No,
I was going to say David Moyes. No, I'm joking.
Let's get it up on screen, and then it's an interesting one.
I feel like a bit of a plonker now. I've chose Evra, but I didn't choose Evra over. Sorry, not Evra. Vidic over Ferdinand. It's because where JT's playing, I think JT and Rio never got it right with England. Like they could never sort of get it right together. So that's why I've gone for Vidic instead of Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Well,
and obviously,
that was your choice.
You was talking about Robin earlier, that it's one of your kind of favourite players outside of Man United, and for me, it's Rooney. I've got the first thing the top I bought was with I think it was 2004 Euros with Rooney on the back.
Is that the one with the stripe on the shoulder, isn't it?
Yeah. He was as a kid, he was when he come through the early stage of his career, he was a street footballer. He went on the pitch, he didn't care who he come against, whether it's the best centre backs in the world. He had no care who you was. He had no nonsense, and he was just such a joy to watch. And we'll remember, as United fans, you remember the goal against Newcastle where he's moaning to the referee, complaining. The ball's in the sky, and he just puts it, volleys it on the edge of the box. Unbelievable player.
Yeah, 100%.
But the final scores on the doors means, Jay, that you've allowed Jonesy to win 6-5 because of the admission. With Petr Cech in, difficult to argue, I think. As much as Van der Sar is one of my all-time favourite people and goalkeeper, it's difficult when you've got Petr Cech, who's got the highest Premier League goal scoring, clean sheet record. Gary Neville, difficult to argue against, mainly because wasn't much on offer from Jonesy apart from Cesar Azpilicueta. But I think Gary Neville, longevity and trophies won, argue.
Yeah.
Can't have an all-time 11, if anything to do with Chelsea, and not have JT. So find it difficult to keep him out. I think a lot of people are going to come at you for Vidic, but that was the one you chose, like you say, Jay.
Yeah.
Again, Ashley Cole, I don't think you can argue. Same sort of category as JT. If you're having an all-time Premier League 11 with these two clubs in mind.
Ashley Cole has to go in
there. Lampard and Keane, difficult to argue.
I mean, I would argue that Scholes was better than Lampard, but
there's a debate to be had.
Yeah.
Well, let's debate it. Jonesy, what do you say?
Yeah, I said this when it all gets brought up, the debate of Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes, and I think when it comes, I think Gerrard's probably the all-round better footballer than the two of Lampard and Scholes. But Scholes for me is the best. For me, he was again. He'd walk straight into that Barcelona team that they had with Pep.
Yeah.
The Man City team that he could play that Pep system, no problem.
Sorry, go on, Jonesy.
That man as well. He had all the time in the world on the football pitch. When you look in 1 minute, next minute's Mark, and then next minute he's in tons of space, and then you're thinking, oh, hang on, who's picking him up?
Yeah,
because he's aware. He was a clever man, and the passing again for me is the best passer the Premier League's ever seen from midfield. People make goals, and I mean De Bruyne, but him. Scholes was just different, man.
I think as well, if you was to look at the other players like in the Spanish leagues, in the Bundesliga and stuff like that, they all mention Scholes in high remarks. Like no one's got a bad word against Scholes. So to me, I think that's why I would say Scholes over Lampard.
Are you agreeing with that, Jonesy? It sounds like you're agreeing with it.
I think he is.
It sounded like it.
He's offline at the moment. I don't know where he's going. That John Terry penalty, though.
Oh, he did drop out. There he is.
Yeah, I don't
You
think
good?
that came out. Yeah, that came out.
No, John Terry penalty. That.
Thank you for reminding me of that moment.
Yeah, one of the greatest moments ever. It sounded like before you dropped out there, Jones. It sounded like you were agreeing and saying that we should be removing Lampard and putting Scholesy in.
No. I'm still thinking of bringing Lampard in there.
I don't know. It sounded
Just
like you agreed earlier.
No. Lampard has to get in.
Who's your
Have
captain?
to be in there, man.
I'm assuming. I'm going to guess. Jay, your captain is Roy Keane.
100%.
Jonesy, yours is JT.
Mine's JT.
Right, who's the better captain in Premier League history?
There's
JT.
no comparison. There is no comparison. Wash your mouth out with soap, Jonesy.
Yeah, John Terry for me. John Terry has always been my John Terry.
Mate, all he does is slid and hits the post, man. He doesn't do much.
Doesn't do much.
What?
15 goals 15 goals conceded in a Premier League season. That will never be matched. As I
That's
said, he
not
came
him being
back after
captain, though. That's him being a defender.
No, but he came back, right? He came back after being told by Rafa Benitez that you are finished, you're washed, you're not good enough, you're done.
Man. For me, sorry, I think there's no comparison. Roy Keane is the Premier
John
League
Terry,
best ever captain.
Yeah.
And we all mentioned that earlier. So to me, I think there's no comparison.
You mentioned it. I didn't agree with it, though. John Terry, man. John Terry.
Okay.
John Terry.
Well, I think this is up to Nathan.
I'm going to leave it up to the chat. Chat, if you're listening or watching, let me know who you think that the all-time Premier League captain is out of those two. You've got a choice between Roy Keane and John Terry. Let me know. I want to hear more about Mark's argument. Jay, I want you to argue his case here. You picked CR7 over Giggsy because that's where you originally put him.
Yep.
What are you saying for Giggs versus Hazard?
Listen, I think Giggs is amazing. Giggs was amazing. He was the Welsh wonder. But I know Jonesy, and I know he was going to choose Hazard. So for me, to get the one better, I had to choose Ronaldo because I knew Ronaldo was going to go straight over Hazard. But I would have stuck him on the right mid, but I had David Beckham on the right mid. And I mean, who do you choose out of David Beckham and Ronaldo? You know, they're two of my favourite ever players for Manchester United. So I had to choose both of them in there. And Ronaldo's quite adaptable. He can go striker, right mid, left mid. So that was my argument.
Okay.
And with the Rio, I did explain why I've chose Vidic, because when you said when Jonesy said Terry, I could have said Rio, yes, but if you look at history in the England lineups, Rio and John Terry never done well together. So that's my argument of this team should be done well with Terry and Vidic.
Right, Jonesy, Mark has come in with this to your argument. Keane has won more than Terry. And there's an argument to be said there that Keane carried the team more to glory than probably what John Terry did. What do you say to that, mate?
I don't. I think John Terry pretty equally carried us, especially because we brought Ricardo Carvalho came from Porto with Mourinho, didn't know the league, had to get used to the league, and John Terry popped up again crucial goals and like as I said, just he part of that back four. People talk about but it's a back forward. He didn't do it by himself, but he's still part of that, and he was the main reason. Well, one of the main reasons we kept that 15 clean sheets. Clean 15 goals that will never ever be beaten. I don't think no one's beaten that. And as I said, he came back. No, but after being proven, after Rafa Benitez, who was an idiot, says, "Oh, you're basically washed, you're done, you're not playing." you're not as good as you once was. And then he came back. Mourinho took him back in the team. We won the league. He did not miss a single minute of a single Premier League game. Played 38 matches. So very, very impressive. And the thing with John Terry, got labelled at him. Oh, he can't play. He parked the bus. He sat back. He was in his own box most of the time. Well, Carlo Ancelotti came in and he was playing on the halfway line. He was playing in the opposition half. And we scored over 100 goals playing attacking football. So he can do it. It's just that he didn't do it because he had managers who were defensive.
Yeah, but I don't think that makes him a great captain. He's a good defender, yes, but I don't think that makes him. In my eyes, I think Lampard carries juice more than what John Terry did. If I'm being honest with you, because when you looked at Chelsea, you didn't look at John Terry. You looked at Frank Lampard. You looked at Didier Drogba.
Nah, John Terry. Nah, John.
I mean, that's my opinion.
Man. I was up to. And John Terry's a high-scoring defender in Premier League history. Unless someone broke it recently. So again, popped up with goals. No, but didn't King go to Celtic at the end? Do you know what I mean? He left.
No, he fell out with Fergie.
Yeah, I know he was falling out.
And he was doing Fergie's job practically, and Fergie didn't like it.
Yeah, John Terry was doing Benitez's job.
No. I generally think John. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I wouldn't be happy knowing that John Terry's my captain because, yes, he's a great defender. I'm not taking his defensive attributes away from him. He's fantastic. He's good in the air. He's strong, but he's not. He's not the captain of this team. No way.
He's captain, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, Jonesy, as much as I admire John Terry as a player, I think it's really, really hard to look past Keane as a captain of any team, in my opinion. You can call bias, but at the end of the day, it's my show and my channel. So,
yeah.
And there you go. Terry can't take a pen. But on the whole, mate, if I think you've won the channel. The channel? You haven't won the channel. Definitely not. You've won this episode. 6-5 to Chelsea on this occasion. With I was going to say we'll give an extra point for captain, but I don't think we deserve it.
Yeah, it'd be 6-6 then. Go penalty shootout.
Yeah, and then the penalty shootout goes to the manager, and then they'll choose Mourinho, and we'll choose Fergie.
Now we've got to let Chelsea win something, haven't we?
Chelsea, yeah. Chelsea have won the episode. I think that's only fair.
I'll play that.
Chelsea did have really good team, really good players, to be fair. Fantastic players as well. And they're great shouts from Jonesy. So I can't really argue with it too much. I'm not really too upset about it because they're great players.
Yeah. No, closing statements. Jonesy, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I can't complain. I said to James, there's obviously, I know Taylor's again included because what he's done in this 11. But there was two or three players I was going to stand and try and argue for the case was Hazard, Drogba, and Ashley Cole. They're the three.
Oh, Ashley Cole.
I knew JT was going to be in because I thought you was going to pick Dennis Irwin. I thought that would that would be difficult because I said I rate Irwin more than Evra.
I would have chose Irwin, but I was born 1990, so I'm going from what I actually seen as well, not from what I've watched, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, in all honesty, I don't think you can. If you're putting anyone up against Ashley Cole's 99 out of 100 times is going to be the winner.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the only part of the team that lets us down is right back. And I apologise, Gary Neville, if you're watching, but yeah. From both sides of the coin, Chelsea haven't had many great right backs, and United have been lacklustre. The only one that was ever good,
With Gary Neville,
unless you're going further back. But yeah, Gary Neville it is.
Yeah, Raphael. I think Raphael was okay, he wasn't far from amazing.
He wasn't world class style Raphael.
Yeah.
And Tony V as well, but that was nearer. He was probably his best moments was sort of that right back. But yeah, no, that is our Chelsea United Balls Out all-time Premier League 11. If you do not agree, let us know. Go online, go on Twitter, and let us know who you think it should have been, or drop a comment underneath. Let us know who your Chelsea United Prem 11 would have been. But yeah, that is us. Keep an eye out on our socials, and if you're liking what we're doing, please like and subscribe, and keep an eye out. We're doing Red Devils Roundup this weekend with a preview to the Bournemouth game on Sunday, and we'll look back at the dross that was United's last Sunday just gone. But yeah, on the whole, thank you very much for watching.
No problem. Pick up.